Hey everybody, I'm Evan, and welcome back to our series where we are counting down our top 100 games of all time. And I am joined, as usual, by my guest, by my friend, by my co-host, Lizzy.
Hi everybody, I'm Lizzy with Anderson's Gamers. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure. How you feeling about this week's section?
I'm excited about it. I am very excited about you finding out what 75 is. I think it's going to shock you a bit.
Okay, well, I might have one that's going to shock you too. Maybe shock you on how low it is.
Oh no.
All right, so yeah, this week we will be going through our 80 through 71. And if I hadn't mentioned this before, we both did use the Pub Meeple ranking engine. I don't remember if I mentioned that in an earlier video or not. I put a bunch of games in there, and then narrowed them down to 100.
Yeah,
and I
you
didn't
put
make
in
any
a
changes.
lot more.
I did. Too many. But, I like a lot of games. What are you going to say? Okay, so are you ready?
I am.
All right, so let's do it.
Okay, so my number 80 is Quarriors. This is a bag building dice game where you try to get your dice to be beefed up. You roll them, try to get them to last around so you can get points. Some of the other expansions you can go questing with them. It's just a cool kind of take that-y game, but the game is...
like fighting, like battling game, right? Yeah.
So like that's what the game is, and then it's also a bag builder on top of that. And you use your dice to buy more dice, and it's a lot of fun. There is a rendition or implement of Marvel Dice Heroes or Dice Champions or something like that.
Yep. It's Dice Masters, yeah.
That's the one.
Yep.
But yeah, I had all of Quarriors when I found out about the Marvel one, so I'm like, I'm happy with Quarriors.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, so not only is there a Marvel version, there's like a Dungeons and Dragons one. I think there's like a Yu-Gi-Oh one. I think there's a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles one. I mean, there's quite a few in the Dice Masters, like the licensed ones. So.
Oh yeah, I did not know about all those other ones.
There is, yeah. I've never played it. I worry about that because I didn't hear about it until the Marvel one came out, and I don't really like buying like blind packs for a game that I'm going to play. But with Quarrior, it was all in one box, correct? It was just all there.
Yes, and then the expansions added some more, but it was boxes of expansions.
Yes,
except for
not like, yeah.
There was one that was like a teeny tiny box,
but not like random, like you don't know what you're gonna get when you open a pack. Yeah, okay.
No, it was all. It wasn't like a collectible card game type or anything.
Yeah, which is what the Dice Masters turned into. So yeah, Quarriors. It sounds fun, and that's designed by Eric Lang, correct? Like I believe so.
I don't know. It's by WizKids. It's right up there.
I believe it is. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments.
Will do.
All right. So, my number 80 was 24 in 2018. So, a significant drop. And I would say if we hadn't played it this past year, it may have even dropped off the list. But since we did play it, I'm like, hey, this is a fun game. And that is the Big Book of Madness. It is a deck building game where you play like some magical students who open a big book, and it turns out it's a cursed book. So in order to like turn the pages and then close the book, you have to use your like deck building to cast like spells that like take off the curses that these monsters are going to give you or they hurt you. So it's fun. It's a fun cooperative experience. It scales really well. There's different ways to make it more or less difficult. But you're basically just adding like these colored cards to your deck and then upgrading your spells and hoping nothing really horrible happens. But it's actually really fun. And I hadn't played it in a number of years until this past year, but yeah, that's it's still up there for me, I think.
I actually haven't played it yet. It keeps showing up on my radar, but I just haven't taken the plunge yet.
I think you might like it.
Grand Con. Add it to the
Maybe.
list.
All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, that's my number 80, The Big Book of Madness.
Okay. So my number 79 is Terraforming Mars. So this is with the Prelude expansion. It's a little bit too slow without that. But this is a great resource management type of game where you're trying to spread out on Mars and you want to get oceans out. You want to get your cities next to these other things. And it's card where you make them go better together.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Yeah, like engine building.
Yeah, there you go.
So yeah, so then like, you can turn them and they do special things, and it's just a nice, fun puzzle.
Cool. I have never played that game. Would you believe that? Never.
Oh my goodness.
I know,
Wow.
I know. It's one of those games that's been like around the gaming hobby for quite a number of years now, and a lot of people's favorite games, or at least it has been over the years. But I know I've never played it.
Yeah, that needs to change. Although it can be a very long game.
That's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind long games.
Yeah, like the
long as it's...
very first time I played it, it was actually at Recon, and this guy could not get the concept that after you passed, you were done for the round. So he would ask the two of us that were playing with him every time, "Are you going to do anything?" "No, I've passed." And then he would start thinking about his turn, and he was just like, "Nah, we passed, you're good." So yeah, so the very first time I ever talked about what I thought of the game was actually to Z Garcia, and he was like, "So what did you think?" "It was long."
Yeah, but if you're playing with more experienced players, I imagine it goes a lot quicker, and especially with that expansion. Yeah.
Yes, the Prelude definitely, it gives you a little bit of a asymmetrical start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool. I would play it someday if somebody wanted to teach it to me. I'm not going to get it on my own. So.
Wow, Grand Con.
I know. I know. All right. Okay. So my number 79 was number 22 in 2018. So those two were pretty close to each other. And that is a game called Potion Explosion.
Oh. Okay,
I do like Potion
that's
Explosion.
lower than I thought it would be for you.
Well, it's one of those games that probably doesn't hit the table as much as it used to when we first got it. You know what I mean? It got played a lot when we first got it. Maybe the novelty has worn off a little bit. Potion Explosion is basically this tray of marbles that, like it kind of gravity feeds through there, and you pick up a marble, and if they're the same colors touching each other, you get to pick those up, and then you add them to your little potions, and then you create those potions, and you drink those potions, which allow you to pick up more marbles. So it's like a fun, like, combo-y engine that you can kind of get going. It's so fun. I'll still play it anytime. We have we have one of the expansions, I think, and maybe that's it, but it's so fun. It's always fun to play, and it just like that tactile thing of pulling a marble and watching them fall, pulling more marbles, watching more fall. It's just fun. It's a fun experience.
Do you have the wooden marble or the plastic one?
We have the original one, which is
the
cardboard, right?
Yeah,
it's cardboard. No, we do not have the plastic one.
I know.
Well,
that just shows that you got in on the ground floor.
I know, because I think, but then one of the expansions came with a plastic one, and we don't have that one. We have a different expansion. So, oh well. It still works. It still holds up well at this point. So, no complaints yet.
Well,
it hasn't
I
fallen
actually
apart completely.
super glued mine together, so that way it would stay stable.
Smart.
If you ever need it more stable.
Sure, yeah, I might one day. But yeah, that's my number 79, Potion Explosion.
Okay. My 78 is Xi'an. So this is another building up of the Terracotta Army. Mm-hmm. So you're using your cards and you're trying to get resources to spend to be able to place your prettily colored army piece things out in this grid, and it gets you points and benefits and whatnot. It's a really good game. The artwork left a bit to be desired, but those miniature pieces, every time I played, I think I really want to paint them because they just they just look like they want paint, but it's so nice because they're in the player colors. So
Okay.
you'd have to make sure you have a color theme for the ones you repaint. But it's a lot of fun, and I like going and you can prevent people from being able to go with you in like the worker placement area, or make them have to pay more. But if you know they're broke.
It's interesting. I've never played it. I've heard good things about it. And it's interesting because you rank that higher than the other Terracotta Army game. So I guess that one's better.
I like it more. It is
cool.
older, so I've played it more too, so that
Sure.
might have a factor in it.
Sure.
But I don't know what it is about that theme. I really like the Terracotta Army theme, and there's just not a lot of games with it. I think I have the only two.
Yeah, maybe. That's funny.
But yeah, but that
cool.
is my 78 Xi'an.
Cool. Okay, so my number 78. It is. It was not on the list in 2018. It is a small card game, and it is called Elevenses or Elevenses. Okay, and this is a game where you have cards in front of you that are face down, and you're basically just trying to get them in the correct order to like have a tea party. And there's something about this mechanism where you're trying to get things in the proper order that I really enjoy. They kind of have different powers on them, so you're like you can flip cards over, or you can peek at cards and rearrange them, and then your opponent can kind of make you flip cards back over. And then when you have a certain amount of like spoons or whatever it is, you can call the tea party, and if you have the most, you win. And it's a very simple, quick card game, but I like that organizational aspect, and I also really like the tea party theme. It looks kind of like, like a fancy Victorian tea party game.
Ooh, that does sound cool. Like, are you trying to get them in a line then? Or?
No, it's kind of like a grid. It's like a two-tier grid or whatever. So you basically have to like get the biscuits and get the servers have to be ready, and the dishes have to be ready, and that sort of thing. I mean, but it's just pictures on cards. You know what I mean? It's not really. The theme is what it is, but it's just more mechanical of just getting them where they need to be in order to have a tea party. And it's weird that this game is in my top 100, but I enjoy it that much. That is 78.
Awesome. What was the name of it again?
Elevenses.
Elevenses. Okay.
Yes. I think that's how you say it.
I just wanted to make you say it again.
Because I think I said elevensies for a long time, but I think it's elevenses. So that's my number 78. Elevenses.
So my number 77 is called eVanDiesel Shifting Sands. So this is the reprint of eVanDiesel, but I really like it. Like, you go down this river and you put your boats in different places to do the actions. But if you put a boat here, you then can't go back up to here. You have to go further down the river with every additional action for the round. So if there's one down here that you really, really want, do you go for it right off the bat because you want it that bad? Or are you trying to go get some more juicy actions up here before you go right there? But
I've looked at that. I've never played that game, but I have looked at it a bunch of times, and it looks cool.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like you're kind of managing your workers because they can do different things. Like, you have to build these monuments. That's what the main thing is trying to build those monuments. And then different strength workers let you do more.
Yeah, that sounds like a cool game. I would play that for sure.
Yeah, awesome. But that is my 77, eVanDiesel Shifting Sands.
That's funny. We have not had any games that. Well, I guess you've probably played Potion Explosion, right?
I have. I think
Okay.
it was in my recent call, though.
Oh, so sad.
Yeah.
It is what it is. All right. So my number 77 is a dice game version of a bigger game that has already appeared on my list. And that is Castles of Burgundy, the dice game.
Oh, you really like this one.
I do. I really do. Because it's like the roll and write version of Castles of Burgundy. So, and I played this before I played any other Castles of Burgundy. And it is really fun. They roll the dice, use those dice, and to just check off little boxes and little territories, and then you get little bonuses, and you can use those little bonuses to change the dice or add extra dice and all that sort of thing. And it's just, there's like 4 different sheets, I think, in the box, so it can be slightly different every time. And it's just really fun. I like roll and writes, and this one has like a satisfying like package in a short playtime. So yeah,
sounds great. I definitely like that there's dice mitigation, so that way it's not all just roll it and whatever you get is whatever you get.
Exactly, yeah, because you can save up your little, I don't remember what they're called, but there's these different little workers like monks and stuff like that who can either adjust colors or adjust values, that sort of thing. So yeah, I love it. I love Castles of Burgundy dice game more than Castles of Burgundy. Can you believe it?
Yes, you really like roll and writes.
I do. It might not last that way forever, but as of right now, I've definitely played the dice game more than the regular game, so that's why it's higher at number 77.
Sounds good. Okay, so my 76 is Hide, Hidden Identity Dice Espionage. Oh, do you not know this one?
I feel like I've seen the box before, but tell me about it, because I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so basically every round there's dice that are rolled, and you get to take them, and you can either say this has not, so you have a hidden dice, and it will be one side in a color, so it might be a yellow submarine. So you could take this red gun and put it out here and be like, this has nothing to do with yellow submarine because it doesn't match the color, it doesn't match the symbol. And then you got to do something special with it. Or you could take a dice and put it on top, but it has to match color or symbol, so I could do like a red submarine, and it matches the submarine. And then I can try to assassinate someone. Now we're getting into dangers of YouTube saying you're doing a bad video.
Oh no.
But it's like you're trying to figure out what everyone's dice is that are behind this shield based on what they say it's not anything like it and what is like it. And then you can do other things that can get you some money. If you assassinate someone, you get some money.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a pretty small game then, right? Like it's a small package?
I mean, it's a normal Ticket to Ride size box.
Okay. Oh, okay.
It has a lot of air in that box.
Okay. All right. Huh. All right. Interesting.
But it's a neat little game that...
All right.
It's just a nice little deduction, sort of thematic one that you just try to... I have heard people say that it's kind of broken because if you just try to assassinate everyone, there's no negative for assassinating anyone.
Okay.
So be like, oh, well, you are a yellow submarine when I don't know anything about your die.
Okay, well, just don't play it that way then, right? Just
exactly. just get into the spirit of the game and play in that spirit, and then it's not broken. So it might be more of a who you play it with dependent kind of game.
Okay. Cool. That's interesting. Yeah, I've never really heard about that before. So
Success.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, but that's my 76 Hide Hidden Identity Dice Espionage.
That's funny. That's nice. All right. So my number 76 is a big Euro game called Yokohama. Oh boy. So it's kind of hard to describe this game because it's basically you're like a trader in like Japan that's developing, so you're trying to get goods and establish trade posts and ship those goods, that sort of a game. But what's so good about this game is, first of all, the modular layout. So there's all these different like boards that represent like buildings and stuff, and it goes together differently every time. And then From what I've heard, this is similar to a game that was on your list previously called Jaipur. I believe that's correct.
Okay.
Is that right? Okay, where there's in order to move your like little senator, you kind of have to have a path for them to move along. Is that correct? I don't know.
Jaipur's a card
Am I
game.
thinking? Maybe I'm thinking of a different game then. But anyway, yeah. So like you have to kind of like plan a path for your senator to move by like dropping these cubes all around. So then that's as far as they can move all around like the city. Yeah, and it's really fun. And there is a new version of it that has different art, but we have the old deluxeified version, so I don't think I need to upgrade to the new version. So I think the new version has double-sided or double player boards, like double layer player boards, so all your little buildings don't slide around. But
that would be nice.
It would be, but that's okay. The old version is still like a really gorgeous production. So yeah, that's my number 76, Yokohama.
Awesome. I have not played that yet.
Okay, it's really fun.
Sounds pretty too.
It is.
Okay, so my number 75 is one you have given me.
Okay. Well.
It is a specific version of a game that has
Okay.
been on your list already.
Okay, all right. I should have known.
So it is Board Game Collectors, aka
Okay.
Vegetable Stock.
Yep. How do you like this game more than I do?
I know, right?
How is that possible?
You have a lot
Okay.
more versions than I do.
I know I
have
do.
that
I know I do.
one.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
But I think
tell
part
us.
of it is also I like the meta-ness of the board game version because you're
Yes.
playing a board game about board games.
about collecting board games. Yeah.
Yeah, so I really like that. Plus, I just like the mechanisms that
Right.
you're trying to
Yep.
collect the cards, and you can let that one card go because then that could flip it over and be worth more if the market goes down. Then it flips over.
Yep.
So
yeah,
there could be
right.
some benefits, or you might
Yeah.
want to grab it while you don't want to drop any more.
It's funny.
I
So
like
I would almost say that the board game version makes more sense than the vegetable version, because it's like the game gets really popular, goes out of print, the value goes up, and then as it comes back in print and kind of goes down, like the way the market fluctuates, it kind of works.
Exactly, and I mean I know vegetables and those prices fluctuate, but not
Sure.
as much as like an out of print game fluctuates and a reprint.
That's really funny. That's really funny that is on your list.
And I figured you'd be very surprised that it was.
Cool.
But yeah, I fell
Well, hey,
in love with it when we played it.
It's a great game, and is that our first crossover? Technically, I think it is.
I think so.
Cool.
I think it is the first one that we know about.
Well, yes, of course. Awesome. Well, that is an excellent pick. That is the best pick you've had yet.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Okay, so my number 75 is the exact opposite of a big, heavy game. It is a small game that combines two games and plays in like 5 minutes. And somehow it works really well. And that is rubber, paper, scissors. So, do you like rock, paper, scissors? Do you like tic-tac-toe? Because it combines those two things. And it works amazing. So, first thing you do is you play a game of rock, paper, scissors. And then the winner gets to either place their piece in like this tic-tac-toe grid, or take the little token that's sitting there that'll have a special power on it.
Okay.
So, and then the loser gets to do the opposite thing. So
So if you would take the token, I could then place a piece.
yes, correct. So then there's points for having, like the you have a cat there.
I do.
I hear them. No, that's okay. So yeah, so you get points for different things, and there's kind of like there's some tokens that have like you can get a set with. So if you try to get so many of those, you get extra points, and it plays really quick. And I don't know how I'm so bad at rock, paper, scissors. It's just random, right? You're picking something random, but I almost lose that every single time.
Supposedly
But I don't always
there's like
lose
a psychological So
Well,
like
maybe.
the way the person before you or the other person, what they do impacts your decision. So like if they play
Yeah.
scissors, you're
Okay.
more likely to play rock. So then,
Okay. I get it.
knowing that you're more likely to play rock, they'll be more likely to play paper, which then you're more likely to play scissors. So,
Okay. I guess there's probably some validity to that. But either way, even if you lose that, you still are either going to get a token or get a spot on the grid. So, and it's so silly, and it plays so quickly, but it's really, really fun. And you can play it like, three, four times in a row, and it's fun every time. So that is my 75 rubber, paper, scissors.
okay, that sounds like fun.
Funny because it's called that because it has like a weird like stationary theme. It doesn't really make any sense. They're like stationary office supplies in a display window or something. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but it's still fun.
Okay. Yeah, that's an interesting theme.
Yeah.
Okay, well, my 74 is called Pastiche. So this is an art game where you have hex tiles that you put onto the board, and the edges that match, you can either take all the colors that those make, or you could take the color that's in the center of it and grab one of those. And so you could get, if you get prime colors to match, that would be really cool. Or I think you have to have 3. But, like, to get in, you would have to have the 3 connecting. So 3 dots, and then you connect. And then you get the color. So you have to be careful about how you place them out, because you don't want the next person to come in and be able to get a nice prime color, because the only way to get those is by grabbing from, the center of the tile. But you are gathering up these cards that are your paint swatch things, and you turn them in, and you get to complete the paintings. So it's
That
really
sounds cool.
thinky. Yeah, it is. And then what is really cool is also at the end of the game, your paints that you have left over is also worth victory points, depending on how hard they are to get. So
Okay.
even if you can't complete a painting, well, your paints aren't worthless.
Cool. Huh. That sounds fun. That sounds like something I would enjoy.
It is really pretty.
Cool. And that's like the second painting game we've had on our lists.
Yeah, you had Starving Artist on yours.
I know. And there might be another painting game coming up at some point.
Ooh.
Anyway, we'll talk about that later. Okay,
Sounds
cool.
good, but
Yeah, that sounds fun. Okay, so my number 74 is a game that is going to appear on your list higher. I guarantee it. And it is
Okay.
called Unmatched. I know you're going to be angry about this one.
I'm heartbroken.
I
That's
know.
so low.
I know it. Right. It's crazy that it's this low. It shocks me that it's this low. But I guess that's the testament to all these other great games that I enjoy. So the thing with Unmatched is it is a Restoration Games reprint of a game called Star Wars Epic Duels. There are no Star Wars characters in this version. I don't know if there ever will be. I don't know if there ever will be. But yeah, basically you just take a character in a deck of cards versus a character and another deck of cards, and you fight. And the system is real simple. There's tons of characters available. A lot of them are like, public domain characters, but we have all of the Marvel characters.
And that's the only
And-
ones you have, right? Or do you have
For
others?
the most part, because there's also Unmatched Adventures, which makes it a
yeah.
co-op game. So we have those characters also, and the co-op game is also really fun.
Yes,
Where you get
I
to
know.
get to fight the Mothman or space aliens, and it's such a smooth like system that is very easy to play. But there is a lot of strategy involved because you have a hand of cards, and you have to kind of decide, what am I going to attack? Am I going to run away? Am I going to go pick up this token on the board? Do I save this card for later? Do I boost with this card, but then I lose it? Because if your deck runs out, then you lose, or you start losing health anyway. But yeah, I think Unmatched is great.
Yeah,
I
so
know
who's
I.
your- Sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you your favorite character was.
So that's the thing. Maybe that's why it's so low, is I probably don't play it as often as I should. So I don't know who my favorite character is, because usually I play a different character almost every time. So I don't, because there's so many to choose from. I want to try them all. And I have not tried them all.
And you don't even have a suitcase full of them.
Nope. We've got the one of the storage boxes. It's got some more room in it, so there's
Ooh, so you could get some more. Are you going to get the Witcher set? Or did you get the Witcher set?
No, I'm probably not going to get that one. I would only get the ones that appeal to me the most, because that's a slippery slope that I don't really want to start falling down. So, but that's okay.
Some of us have fallen.
We'll be talking about that later. Probably.
Yes, most likely. But one of the things I love about the Marvel Unmatched is that the board has those defense action or
the tokens. Yeah, okay. Yeah. See, that's all.
I love that's on the board.
Okay, cool. Yep.
So I do.
Those are fun. Yep. That's my number 74. Unmatched.
Yes. Break my heart. That's
okay. I know.
That just means that all of your other games will be absolutely phenomenal, and I should buy everything for everyone.
I mean, that's up to you to decide.
Okay. Well, my 73 is a game called Earth. So this is a recent... Oh, I haven't even been saying what years these have been coming out. So this one came out in 2023. But it's another one where you're trying to build up your grid and make it work for you. You get some soil that you can use, and you buy the cards. You try to build up the pieces so that you can score different ways. But beautiful artwork. I love the puzzly nature, and I love that it's a set. Like, once you have the set width and length, those are set. You can't move them around or anything unless special abilities let you. But I do like the puzzle of where do you want to put it out to begin with.
Okay.
As well.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a real popular game for a minute. I've never actually played it. Go figure. I know. It looks cool. It looks like something I would enjoy. Is it kind of engine buildy-ish?
Yeah.
Kind of? Yeah, okay. I think I would like that. But
one day you'll play all the games.
Yeah, let's go for that.
Yeah.
That's my goal in life.
Yeah, quit your job, just play games 24/7. You might get a chance to play all the really amazing ones.
All right, yeah, that sounds like a plan. Let's do that. Okay. All right. So my number 73 is another smaller card game, and that is called Campy Creatures. Have you ever played Campy Creatures?
If not, I've heard a lot about it.
So you basically have a hand of like monsters, and like the art is really good. Like like classic monsters like Wolfmans and mummies and blobs and kaiju, and the Demogorgon from Stranger Things is in there for some reason. So you're simultaneously playing these cards. So ideally you want the one with the higher strength, because then there's like these I don't remember what they call it, but there's like teenagers and other cards in the middle that you're trying to either capture or you don't want to capture. They're either positive or negative points. Kind of like a set collection thing where some score different ways. So some you want a lot of, some you want an even number of, that sort of thing. Some you want none of. And then ideally the one with the higher strength wins, but they all have power. So sometimes they interact differently, where one will cancel out another one, or that sort of thing. But I don't know. I really enjoy the theme, especially on this, even though the theme is what it is. But I enjoy the monsters in this. How about that? And then there's this thing called a clashometer, which is a unique way to break ties. So every time, it's like a ranking. So whoever is at the highest is going to break the tie first. And if you do that, then you go to the bottom. So then it moves up, and the next person. So it's a clever way to keep breaking ties, different every time.
So that way you're not a tiebreaker.
Yeah, yep. So we play this every October, like every single October. You play a few rounds, and whoever has the most points wins. Yeah, and it's great. It's great fun. It's it's perfect for the Halloween season. So, yeah. My number 73, Campy Creatures.
Sounds fun.
It is fun. I enjoy it a lot.
Definitely, you definitely like the October Halloween themes on games.
Oh, I sure do. Yes.
Yeah, you've gotten one of your unboxings recently. Those components. Oh my goodness! I want the game just for the components alone.
That was a unique game for sure.
Yes. But definitely a Halloween themed or
yes,
that type of
absolutely.
theme.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, my 72 is another Halloween, horror type themed game that I'm sure you would love. It's Arkham Horror, the card game.
Okay.
So you get your deck of cards, and it's like a deck building game. You get experience points every scenario that you can use. My husband and I have been playing it, and we actually have been keeping our same players throughout different campaigns. So at this point, they are so overpowered at the beginning of the campaigns that we're just beating others up, and I'm going, these characters might need to be taken down some notches at this point. Funny. But yeah, once they take too much, then we'll go on to new ones. But you're going in there, you're fighting baddies, you're playing your cards. It is a lot of rules overhead.
Well, it's a Fantasy Flight Arkham game, so yes, there's going to be a lot of rules.
Yeah, 2 different rule books.
Yep, they like that. They like doing that.
But I mean, I like it where like the more niche rules are in one, so you're not all the niche rules all at once, along with all the other normal rules.
Yep.
So that I would prefer it that way.
Okay, so how many like boxes of this do you have? Like how many like expansions, campaign expansions, or whatever do you have?
I am behind by 1 set.
That's pretty dang good because they put out a lot.
Yeah, but I'm going to be buying that 1 set soon.
I'm pretty sure there's another new one coming out soon too. Like
then I'll be behind by that one. It's like there for a while it seemed like they were getting 3 or 4 out a year, and that's hard to keep up with.
Yeah,
just from a financially standpoint.
Yeah, then you got to play through it all too. That is a game that I have been tempted by so many times because I know I would like this game. I know I would.
Yeah, but at this point it's like, oh, that's such an investment.
I know it. But I've seen some really good deals on it too, and I'm like, oh, click the buy button, and I didn't do it. So,
well, now at least there's like the campaign box and then the characters box. Yes, so you could get all the new gameplay or all the characters, or even though I don't play any new characters, I'm still going to get those because they have deck building cards in them, and eventually I might play them.
Yeah. That's a game that I would like to try sometime, but another one that I don't want to fall down that rabbit hole either with, because it's hard for me sometimes to not buy everything for a game I like. So
yeah, that one you're encouraged to buy everything.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll play somebody else's copy one day.
Well, if you want, I could I could probably put it in a suitcase for you at this point.
Yeah, you might need like a separate vehicle to come up with all the games that you'll be bringing up. A trailer, like you'll have to rent a U-Haul.
Yeah, exactly. Hook it up to the back of the car.
Okay, that's great. Maybe one day. I don't know. Or not. I don't know. All right. So, my number 72 was number 37 in 2018. Ooh. So, a couple of big drops, but that's okay because these are still good games. And this is a game called The Networks. Have you played The Networks?
I have not. I have seen the cover a lot.
It is so much fun. It is sadly out of print at this point, but I think it got picked up by All Play maybe, and they're going to be doing a reversion of it at some point, I think. Maybe. Anyway, so you are running a TV network, and this is a really fun, unique theme, because you have to get shows, put them in time slots, get actors for those shows, and maybe even sell advertising for those shows. And as the years go by, as the seasons go by, they will tend to drop in popularity, or sometimes the popularity will spike and then drop. So you have to know when to cancel that and put that into reruns, which gets you a little bit of money and points. But you want to, like, you know, it's a balance of, like, how long do I keep this show on the air to keep making me money before viewership drops and I put a new show on the air with a new hotter star in it. So it's fun, because if you have a sci-fi show, you're going to want to put, like, a sci-fi actor in there that normally does that sort of thing to help boost the ratings. Or like a comedy show, you want comedic actors in there. And yeah, it's really fun to play, and the theme is really fun to also, you know, experience, because it's unique. Like, what other game is about running a TV network? Yeah, exactly.
There's
and like
one
all
about
the
making
show,
a movie, I think.
there might be a couple of those, and all the shows are kind of like silly, like parodies of like other actual shows. So it's
That's
fun
what
to,
I
like,
was gonna ask.
haha, you know, yeah.
So are the
So
actors' names parody of actors?
Or you can kind of figure out a little bit who they're referencing. Yeah, yeah. It's fun. I have a really good time with it, and it's a really fun game. Sad that it's dropped from my number 37, but we probably don't play it as much again these days as we used to, but 72 is still pretty dang respectable for a top 100.
Exactly.
That's what I say. Okay. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
What do you got for last one for this week?
Oh no, we're already on 71.
I know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so this one is Hanami Koji. So this one came out in 2013. I've said that for 2 games now that year.
Put them in the comments if you want.
So this one, it's kind of like a tug of war game, because there's these cards out here that you want control of, but you get control by playing these other cards, and you play those other cards by doing these tiles that have actions. So sometimes it's like I split, you choose. So you could get 3 cards, I get 2, you get 1, or vice versa. I can't remember that, but basically you have the actions, you'll flip it over, you'll do that action, and then you'll do all those actions, and you both have the same actions. So it's how do you, based on what you get, how do you kind of not only keep control of the ones that you got last round, but gain more so that you could win the game.
Yes. That is a great game, and that's all I'm going to say about that right now.
Ooh, it's higher up on your list.
Maybe. I don't know. I guess you're going to have to stay tuned and find out.
Yeah. But it's
Yes.
beautiful artwork. There
Yes.
is this is a geisha theme. There is a male version. I forget what the male geishas are called.
No, it's actually not. It's called Geisha Academy, I believe, and it's actually like students, so it's different, but it's the exact same game. There's no difference between it other than the art. Because we have that.
I thought they were males for some reason.
They are male.
So-
Yes, they are. They are male, correct. But it's like a boys' academy or something. I don't know. Instead of a geisha club, hiring them for your clubs, they're training for whatever. Anyway, great game.
Thank you.
I thoroughly enjoy that one. Okay, so the last one on my list is another game where you are building trade routes and farming and gathering resources to turn into other resources. And this is a game called Altiplano. Have you ever played Altiplano?
I have not. I have.
Boy,
heard of
okay,
it.
so the fun part about this one is you do all of that through a bag building mechanism. And that's fun. So the interesting part about it is that you go through your whole bag before you fill it back up. So if you have specific resources in there, you are going to get them eventually before you reset your bag. So yeah, basically you're like you pull so many out every time, kind of assign them to different spots on your player board, and then there's these different little areas that can be they're like just like little smaller boards that interact differently with each resource, and you're moving your little guy around, dropping resources off here, getting money there, that sort of thing. And then whenever you like use those resources, they just go into your little you have like a little cardboard box, and then that gets dumped back in. So even though you're like selling goods, you still always have that good. I guess you're growing them. I don't know, but it's really fun to play. I really enjoy that game.
It looks interesting.
It is. It's super fun. I know some people compare it to Orleans or Orleans or whatever that game is called. I've never played that one. I hear it's similar. I don't know. This is the one I've played.
I haven't played it either.
Yeah, all right. But Altiplano is super fun. And there's this really crappy first player marker that's made out of cardboard, and we upgraded it with like a little stuffed alpaca. So.
Ooh.
I know. It's
That's
so
cool.
stupid,
Does the stuffed alpaca fit in the box, or is it just sitting on your
we
shelf?
shoved it. Yeah, it's a little one. We shoved him in there. Yep.
That'll be interesting to see.
It's little, it's small. But yeah, that is Altiplano. That is a really fun game. We just played it not that long ago and still had a great time with it. So, yeah. Wow.
That definitely sounds interesting.
Yep. If you like a resource management and obviously bag building type of game, I think you might like it.
It's definitely been on my radar in the past.
Okay.
I'm not even sure why I've passed over it in the... Might have been like, that might be a little too heavy.
I mean, it is, but it still plays easy. You know what I mean? Once you get going, it's easy to see how it all fits together.
So maybe that would be a good one for someone to teach me.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to come up here for like 2 weeks. The way we're talking here.
I don't know. It's more like 2 months at this point.
Yeah, maybe. Okay. Well, you know what? That was another 20 great games. And this episode is coming to a close. I know, but more to come. So stay tuned, and we'll have another 10 next time. All right. Anything you have to say before we sign off for today?
No, I'm excited about the rest of this list. Everyone is getting more and more fun and more cool, awesome games.
I know, and I'm really enjoying talking about them.
Yes, very much.
All right, and then if I haven't mentioned it before, remember to go to the Long Distance Gamers YouTube channel, subscribe, watch some videos. There's some fun stuff going on over there. You'll see Lizzy over there.
Yes, and you'll see which one is the most unknown of the list over there too.
Yes, interesting. Yes, because you have been doing like short reviews for a game every time, correct?
Yeah, to try to get people to come watch this video.
Well, or learn more about one that you picked on this video.
Yeah, well, it'll be the one that was most unknown, and I wonder which one that one was.
I guess you'll have to go to her channel and find out. All right. I guess that wraps it up, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.